Assalamu alaikum my dear students. Hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIVS Homeschool. I am Nasima Akter, Assistant Teacher of Science, National Ideal English Version School, Morning Shift. Dear students, today I am going to take a science class for class 7 students. Dear students, our today's topic is chapter 2. Today we will read lesson 6 to 11 and today we will also do creative question number 1. Students, let's see today's topic from here. Our today's topic is chapter 2, lesson 6 to 11 and creative number 1. Creative question answer number 1. And today's lecture number is here 4 number lecture and HW number is 2. So dear students, let's begin the class. This is page number 16 of your book. This is lesson 6 and 7. And here is characteristics and functions of plant tissues. Here is written, body of an organism may be unicellular or multicellular. Organisms which are made of only one cell is called unicellular. All physiologic activities like nutrition, excretion, respiration, reproduction are performed in one cell only. Organisms with a number of cells are called multicellular organisms. Tissues which make the body structure are classified and on the other hand show division of labor. If all cells would perform the same physiologic functions at a time, irregularities and energy would prevail in structural variations and physiologic activities of the organisms. So, to ensure smooth life activities of organisms, different types of cell form group to act unitedly. If a number of cells are more or less similar in size and shape with same origin and perform the same functions and stay in group are called tissues. Students, so here is the definition of tissue. Now we will learn about plant tissue. This is page number 17. Here is plant tissue. Plant and animal body are composed of different types of tissues. Different types of tissues perform different specific functions. Depending on the capacity of cell division, tissues are classified into two types such as meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Here is meristematic tissue. Tissue whose cells have the ability to divide are called meristematic tissue. That means which cell can be divided. They are found in developing region of the plant, especially at the apical region of stem and root. This is the figure of meristematic tissue. And here is, you can see cytoplasm, cell of the cytoplasm, cell wall and nucleus. And the function of meristematic tissue is meristematic tissue give rise to new cells and tissues due to continuous division. It increases the height and growth of plant. Meristematic tissue from new tissue. Now permanent tissue. Permanent tissue, mature tissues originating from meristematic tissue having definite shape and incapable of dividing. That means permanent tissue cannot be divided into new cell are called permanent tissue. Permanent tissue are found in almost every part of plants. Now function of permanent tissue, production and transport of food, construct the body and strengthen the plant. Here is the figure of permanent tissue and you can see this tissue cell wall is thick, and here is vacuole, cytoplasm and nucleus. Now come to here students, this is page number 18, lesson 8 and 10, characteristics and functions of animal tissue. How do we walk and move? Mark how we eat and how we breathe. These activities are separated and of different nature. We walk with foot, write with hand, eat with mouth and chew with the help of teeth. These activities are done by different organs. Structure and function of cell and tissues are different in these organs. Bones, muscles and brains, etc. are constituted with many cells whose structures and functions are different in nature. In multicellular animals, when a number of cells unite to form a group and perform a certain work are called tissue. Again, here is the definition of tissue. Aims of these cells may be the same, but their shape, size and structure may vary. It depends on nature of work of the cell and tissue. Animal bodies are made of different types of tissue such as epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue, tissue that makes the open area of the body cover and makes up the internal covering is called epithelial tissue. External layer of our skin and internal layer of our cheek are made of epithelial tissue. Different glands of the body are also made of epithelial tissue. Characteristics of epithelial tissue is epithelial tissue are arranged in one or more strata. Cells are arranged on a thin foundation membrane. These types of tissue do not have any intercellular matrix. Now come to here students, 19 number page. Here is muscular tissue. We can move few muscles on our will such as muscle of hands and legs, but there are muscles which we cannot move at our will. These types of muscles move voluntarily at their will, such as muscular of stomach. From the discussion we learned that muscles are two types such as voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Here is voluntary muscles. When we bend our elbow, muscles of the upper arm contract and drawn lower arm and make it bend. Muscles that we can contract and expand at our will and make our organ move are called voluntary muscles. Number of voluntary muscles in human body is more. These muscles stick to the bone and help to move the organ. Involuntary muscles, the responsibility of the intestinal muscle is to transport of foodstuff in digestive tract. We do not have any control on these types of muscles. It means the muscles that do not contract at our will are called involuntary muscles. Cardiac muscles are another category of specialized involuntary muscles. These muscles supply blood to the whole body by alternate contraction and relaxation in a self-controlled rhythm. Only heart is constituted with these types of muscles. Function of muscle. Muscles give shape of the body and help in bone movement, help in movement and locomotion. It protects internal organs. Heart muscles help in blood circulation in the body. Students, now come to here 20 number page. This is lesson 11, connective tissue. The connective tissue established connection among different tissue and organ. These tissue are mainly solid, liquid or fatty. Blood, bones, cartilage and fatty tissue are the example of connective tissue. Function of connective tissue. Main constituent of bone is calcium. Bones give structure, bear the weight and give mechanical support to the body. Tendons attach muscles with the bones. Fatty tissues store oils and fats. Fibrous connective tissue help contract and expansion of walls of lung and blood vessels. Cartilage are softer than bones and can bear more pressure and stretch, such as cartilage of nose and ear. Blood carries various substances, oxygen, food, excretory substances from one part to another in the body. Besides, blood gives resistance against germs. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. So, blood is a liquid connective tissue. Nerve tissue. Tissues of an organism that on responding to stimuli can create appropriate sensation are called nerve tissue. So, this one is the definition of this nerve tissue. Neuron is the unit of nerve tissue. Neuron is the unit of nerve tissue. Brain is constituted with numerous neurons. Every neuron is composed of 3 parts such as cell body, dendron and axon. Functions of nerve tissues. Receive impulses from different sense organs of the body and send impulse to the brain. Active part of the body respond to stimuli such as when a mosquito bite. This stimulus is sent to the brain. The brain informs that the hand and the hand tries to kill the mouse. Storage of the stimuli or incidents in the memory. Coordinate among different physiological activities of the body. Students, now we have finished the reading of this chapter. Now we will solve the creative question number 1 of this chapter. Here is the question. Look at here. This is creative question number 1 and here is the stem. Here is the figure P and Q and the question is what is blood? B number question is what is meant by epithelial tissue? C number question here is explain the importance of bones in figure P. D number compare the tissue of the figure P and Q. Now answer of A number question here is what question was what is blood? Answer is blood is a liquid connective tissue. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. B number answer is the tissue that cover the exposed parts of the body and remain as layers on interior wall of different cavities and canals are called epithelial tissue. Outer covering of our skin and internal lining of our mouth etc. are made of epithelial tissue. C number answer is here. Bones of our body is shown in figure P. This one is the figure P. Voluntary muscle are stick to the bone arm. Muscle that we can contract and expand at our will and make our organs move are called voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles help our elbow to bend and also to move. As a result, we can hold and touch anything by hand. So, the importance of bones in figure P is enormous. Now, D number answer. D number answer is Figure P is voluntary muscle and Q is intestine. Intestine is composed of involuntary muscle. Comparison between voluntary muscle and involuntary muscle are mentioned below. Here is voluntary muscle and here is involuntary muscle. The first point here is these types of muscular tissue can be contracted or expanded at the will of the living beings. Here is the contraction and expansion of this muscular is not at will of the living being. 2 number point here is the cells of the voluntary muscles tissue are tubular, not branched. Here is this muscle tissue is spindle shaped. Here is 3 number point, the contraction capacity of the voluntary tissue is fast and strong, and this 3 number here is the contraction capacity of the involuntary tissue is slow. Students, now our HW is 2 number HW and your HW will be creative question number 1 and sub number B and C. This will be your HW, creative question number 1, sub number B and C. So dear students, I hope you have understood today's topic. Keep practice it at home and do your essay HW in your HW copy.